Alright, what up guys, this is BMX Edit, and today I'm going to show you guys how to make a bottom bracket tool. I'm not going to make any more how to build a BMX bike parts because my friend, he really needed the bike quickly, so I finished building it for him and I gave it back to him. You can see that it's not in my room anymore. So instead, I'm going to show you guys on how to make this tool. This tool you could use to compress the bearings into your frame. So this tool, you could press the bearings into your bottom bracket, and it's really useful to use this. It's better than hammering. It's better than hammering in your bearings, and I would really recommend it. It cost me $5 to make. The first thing you're gonna want to need is you're gonna have to buy a thread. Mine came in 16 inches long, and I told him to cut it down to 8 inches, but I think you guys should cut it down to 6 because it's a pain to take off the nuts every time. The second thing you're going to need is the right size of nuts for the thread. This is 3/8. And the last thing you're going to need is washers that's the same exact size as your bearing. So take your bearing to the hardware store, and so this is probably a bearing that will be your size. It'll probably be a little bit bigger, but take the bearing, put it next to the washer, and make sure it's the same size, or if the washer is bigger, that'll also be good. And another thing to note is make sure the hole of the washer is big enough to go through your thread. For me, it wasn't. You'll see right here, it doesn't fit. It doesn't go in because the hole is too small. I use very small washers because, as you all know, the Gura Martree frame, it has a very small bottom bracket, and the bottom bracket that you're going to need is called a Maltese bottom bracket for that frame, and the bearings are super small. They're exactly the size of this washer, and I had to put 4 bearings into them, so that's why I had small washers, and it fit in the thing. And this is what I use. You're gonna take off this nut, take off this washer, put it through, and then put the washer. You're gonna want to have the bearing right there, right where my index finger is right now. Put it right here. Right, I can't really do this with 2 hands, but right where this finger, right where it is, put your bearing right there, put the washer next to it, and then you're gonna have your nut right there, and then with one wrench you're gonna hold it, and with the other wrench you're just gonna tighten it in, and it should push your bearings right in. Another thing to note is make sure your bearings are in evenly. If one is in more than the other, then that'll be bad because it won't go in evenly. And another thing that you could use is this axle, which came with my Ezra Opus back wheel, and it also came with this super light axle, which I don't recommend because it's so light that it could break. Probably snap this with my hand. Oh yeah, and another thing is I fixed the Ezra Opus. I know that it's only right-hand drive, but what happened was in my last video where you saw that I had everything on the left-hand drive. The reason why I did that was when I was building the bike, I had the bike upside down, so I got confused with left and right because it was upside down. So I put it on the right side. When it's upside down, right side is left. So I switched it up, and that's why the hub, like I had the wheel flip. So if I turn this right now, the driver will be on the left side, and that's why when I was pedaling forward, it was going backwards. And that's why I had it flipped. I realized it as soon as I ended the video. I had to change the headset race for my friend's bike, and then I took apart the driver, like I took out the cranks and stuff, and I'm like, oh, that's why, because I had the wheel flipped. And then I flipped it, and then I looked through the comments, and then I started seeing that you guys posted that, and now it's getting kind of annoying because everyone's telling me that I put it on backwards, and I know this already. But I already fixed everything. I put everything on my friend's bike, and you could go check out the Bike Check. It's a pretty good bike, solid. And yeah, that's it. That's all you're gonna need for how to make your own homemade bottom bracket tool. Again, this cost me $5. It's really cheap. And yeah, don't forget to grease up your bottom bracket and bearings. And thank you guys for watching this video. Hope I helped you out, and peace.